my whole topic here.
We're just going to touch it. We're not going to really play with it or like.
This has been a very sexual episode this week.
So what, you're just going to tease us?
Well,
Is that
no.
it?
So, I'm going to talk about
You're just going to play just the tip of the topic?
Just, yeah, exactly. Tip of the topic.
Try to dig the colorful things we say.
And
Welcome
we are
back.
All right. The 6th installment of...
The quintessential news podcast that is...
Well,
That's your opinion.
that's your opinion, man.
You're goddamn right.
That's your... You know what? I just want you to listen, and I'm going to just tell you my opinion. So.
I mean, we're not just two random dudes talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
news, all right?
So-
we have authority.
Yes.
This is like our 6th podcast.
Yep. Either
All right.
we're talking or I'm talking.
That does, yeah. Okay. All right. That didn't make it.
Maybe
That was more of an inside joke than anything.
Inside
And I
joke.
don't feel comfortable.
No, let's not explain that.
Explaining it.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
Holy fuck. So anyways, we want to welcome you back again to our 6th installment or 6th episode of Well, That's Your Opinion, Man.
We appreciate the incredible fandom that has already befallen our Facebook page. How many likes, Chris?
Man, I think like 3, 4?
25, I think, actually. And you're only related to 24 of them. All right.
Oh shit. So this is Well, That's Your Opinion, Man. I am your host, Chris, and then we have
Andrew.
There we go.
Here as well.
All
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I guess we can kind of get into things here.
You want to just start off with that beer of the week there? Huh?
Let's do the beer of the week here. We actually have we have 2.
I bought you a fancy one, Chris.
Oh, and I really appreciate this. It actually tastes pretty decent. Not the hugest of fans of peppery beers.
Yes,
but it's still decent though.
So this is a local brewery to St. Paul.
Yes.
Probably one of the older ones.
Yep.
In St. Paul here. Summit Brewing.
Brewing. How you spell that? Is that Pam or Pam? Panem?
Thanks,
Pam.
Pan.
Thanks, Pan.
Thanks, Pan.
So, Summit Brewery, it is called Get Smoked. It's their reserve collection. It's a smoked porter with chipotle peppers.
That whole reserve collection, that's such a hoity-toity bullshit thing.
I think they're just like trying to...
What is a reserved collection? You're a beer. If you reserve it, it's going to go bad.
Reserve collection is more like... What they should just...
It's a one-off.
I think it's a better way of saying small batch.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
it's just cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
We made like 30 of these.
It should just be labeled, "We're trying here."
I mean, just love us.
We're fucking trying.
Just love
okay?
us here.
Just
all
love
right.
it. Just buy the beer,
I had to
please.
go to the store for these peppers.
No, you know, and I heard that like craft brew is actually down.
Yeah.
As far as like I don't know popularity. I remember there's some statistic that I heard where they're like actually like craft brews are like down or whatever.
I think beer sales in general are.
I think
down.
that's
yeah. Even the big ones. I think craft beer is still a bigger part of the market. Like they're getting market share.
Yeah.
But the whole market is down. People just aren't drinking beer anymore.
I think it's so funny is because when I was working in the liquor biz, they kind of had a saying that like when the market and the economy is doing bad, people will drink.
Yeah.
When the market and the economy is doing well, people
will
drink.
That's
so
hilarious.
it's like there's never
we ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're
just
gonna
when,
be here for a while.
Yeah. It's just when people are like decently happy with their lives, then they don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want a strong economy or a terrible one, not an okay one.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess I've never seen a liquor store have a store closing sale.
Well, they are just because barely are purely based on like competition and pricing. That's the only reason why you will see a liquor store go out of business is because either it's in a really shitty neighborhood, but even with the really shitty neighborhoods, that's when they buy liquor.
You just get the 40s.
Yeah, right.
Just get a bunch of 40s.
So to talk about this Summit Get Smoked Reserve Collection, so it's pretty peppery. It's they chose the chipotle pepper because chipotle pepper is one of the smokiest of peppers, and I actually use it in my chili, which that would taste really good.
If
in
you
a
pour
chili.
that beer in a chili,
Yeah.
that would probably be really good, actually. That would actually be the only way
idea.
I would use that
Okay.
beer. I do not like chili peppers in my beer. That's why I got a sample pack.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I gave you the ones I don't like.
Awesome. Perfect.
Yes.
I love you.
You have the spicy beer. I do not
I
like.
love you too, Andrew. Thank you. No, it's. I think for me, I just don't like that spice in the back of my throat
No.
when I'm drinking a beer.
No.
You know?
You want the beer to be the refreshing part of the. Of
yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
you're
you're
doing. Spice takes that all away.
Yeah. I just all I can think of is just SpongeBob when he's like, I need water. Oh fuck. All right. So then also we actually have like 3. I'll be honest here. 3 beers of the week.
I'll just talk about my homebrew.
Okay, let's
I
talk
don't know
about the
what,
homebrew.
I haven't had this
Oh,
one yet.
okay, then that's
I
fine.
can't
So
speak
then
to
what's
it.
the second one?
So the second beer that we are drinking right now, you cannot buy in stores because
You can't.
I made it in my bathtub.
What?
Fuck yeah.
Like Kramer style? Like
Fucking
you just...
like that Homer Simpson episode. I'll get you, beer baron.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
you won't.
No,
Yes, I will. No.
yeah, I love it. Oh, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, so no, me and Chris actually do some brewing typically. He's been out
of the game for a bit.
Been a little out of the game.
Yeah.
So I've been brewing by myself about once a month, twice a month, and I have made myself an oatmeal stout. And I'm just going to tell you how to brew a beer really quick. It's super simple.
Yeah, learn us some.
Learn us some. That was learned statement right there.
Yes.
Why don't you go learn me something?
Learn me something, goddamn it. Goddamn it. No one never died of no alcohol.
I don't need a seatbelt.
I don't need a seat. Whoever. Oh, shit.
Fuck. Brewing beer, it's the simplest thing in the world. So all you do is you take barley, and you can buy fancy barleys, you can buy normal barleys. Okay.
If you've ever had like sugar smacks,
yeah,
that's basically barley.
Yeah. It's cereal.
Cereal.
Yeah, it's cereal that you ferment.
Yep.
So all beer is it's cereal grains.
Yeah.
All the cereals you eat are made out of these grains.
And these grains have powdered like sugar inside of them, basically.
Yeah, they're like the Twinkies of
They're-
the natural
the natural sugar
of the world.
smacks of the world.
Yeah, starches are no. So you basically boil barley and then you cool it down. You put hops with it, and then you put yeast in, and you let it sit.
Yeah.
And then when it stops bubbling, you put it in a bottle and you drink it. That's beer. You go to these fancy breweries and they jerk themselves off behind the counter.
Yep.
They ain't doing shit.
The yeast eats the sugar and it farts out.
You are
alcohol.
alcohol is literally yeast poop.
It's yeast poop.
We love yeast poop.
Oh,
A lot of people are around today because of yeast poop.
This is the best damn yeast shit I've ever had.
Yeast shit.
Yeast shit.
Yeast shit.
Yeast shit.
Yeast shit.
Oh God. All right.
But yeah, that's
So
about
what'd you
it.
guys talk about? Well, we talked about yeast shit.
We talked about yeast shit.
For the whole time, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh shit. All right.
Well, what'd you do this week, Chris? How was your week?
So this week, I think I confirmed that I'm getting a promotion, hopefully down the road. And then, other than that,
We'll see how you do.
We'll see how we do.
We'll see how you do.
It's good to have a new, I would say.
We should tell you. I think we said last 2 weeks ago you're gonna come work with me. So,
Oh, yeah.
So,
So
not
that's
only
like-
are we gonna
that's
work
written in
every
stone.
day right
Yeah.
next to each other,
Fuck.
we are gonna be doing a podcast.
Yep.
So that's what 6 days out of 7
Yeah,
when we seeing
yeah.
each other.
So we're also going to be coming up with a guide on how to be friends and talk with each other every fucking single day, but yet still have enough conversation and something to talk about while doing a podcast.
Either this is gonna be great for the podcast, or the podcast just won't exist.
Yes.
In a
I mean,
month.
well, I think
the last word on this podcast will be no. Fuck you.
Well, if you did your job right, you asshole.
If you weren't a fucking idiot, all right.
I'm not trying to take a personal jab at you, but fuck you.
but literally, I don't know how evolution allowed you to be. That's really mean. Okay.
Oh, fuck
All right.
this. Oh,
we laugh
shit.
about this now.
We laugh about this now, but hey, yeah. So we have had a lot going on in the news, and what's super funny, I feel like, is shit that we talked about in our previous podcast. Now we're having updates now.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. I'll admit I
Already.
was sick literally all week, so I didn't get I didn't follow my news as well as I normally do. But
fine.
a lot
I just
of
looked
the
at porn
shit-
all week.
It's just, I mean, that's where I get my news. All right.
That's right. Come on, just
Think how
Hashtag
informed society
Pornhub.
would be
Yeah.
if we had
I bet you we
porn news.
Well, seriously, I bet you'd have a lot of people like knowing what the hell's going on.
Like in order to like advance to the next scene, you had to answer like a question that they just covered.
That is
you know?
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yes.
We just came up with an
history.
industry.
I'm
here.
sorry. This is the future of news.
Future of news.
Pornhub.
Yeah. DP and and DT Donald Trump.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Oh,
Down to I don't know.
I don't even.
Yeah,
let's-
there's something there.
We're
There's
gonna edit
something
in
there.
something super clever, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge, like that guy's
That's
dick.
what she said. Oh yes.
Okay.
But aren't you always disappointed? That's what she said. No.
Always disappointed.
Ah, yeah.
Basically, the whole world will be like that Billy Madison scene where you have to answer a question and she takes off a piece of
Oh
clothing.
yeah.
Yep.
Why aren't there more teachers like that?
I mean, where was that school where
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
growing up?
just because there's
I mean,
law.
you read about those kids that do get that special education on the news, but
Well, hey, actually, speaking of that, this is kind of an update with the R. Kelly scenario.
oh,
Which
great
perfect
transition.
Segue. This
Great
is the best
transition.
segue.
All right. Oh,
Transition, yeah.
fuck. Okay.
So R. Kelly was he turned himself in.
He did.
Yes,
It was
Yep.
in Illinois too, right?
Illinois. I'm not exactly
He's
sure.
being charged in Cook County, I guess, in
So
Illinois.
I think it's 4 counts of
Fuckery?
sexual misconduct of a
Shit.
minor, something like that. Yeah, and so I think so we were talking about shit. We gotta turn this off. I know.
Yeah, we had talked about R. Kelly like what 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and the thing
yeah.
was it was just in reference to a documentary. It really wasn't about news. Boom,
Correct.
we talk about it. We make the news.
We talk. You guys, listen.
Right.
You heard it first. We make shit happen.
We make shit happen. I'm not saying it's good shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's not justice. We made justice happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So you guys
Yeah.
are all welcome.
Absolutely. Service to society,
Service,
right?
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Who said this?
We were
podcast
talking
is
about
a
a
joke?
horrible topic.
Yeah. No. So anyways, R. Kelly was indicted. He actually had to turn himself in. And apparently, so what happened is through the week, I think it was last week actually, a video surfaced.
Yeah.
And the guy, I think he's with some, I don't know if it's like some news syndication, whatever. Anyways, but like he turns in this video of R. Kelly with a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. Yep. And it was an old video, and I think she probably maybe had it. It's on a VHS tape.
Yeah. Okay, that says something. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I wouldn't be lying if I did kind of want to see it. Like, I'm just fucking
what?
curious.
I do not. What?
Well, no, I'm not saying like, oh, for my pleasure. I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it for me, it's the same thing as like when you catch a predator or like catch a killer. Like, you know, it's like you want to see that
it's-
evidence. Like, oh, he fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's-
I'm okay with taking the word.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't have to
I know
like
what you
watch the whole
it's like,
thing.
I know it's like watching that TV show To Catch a Predator.
Yes, exactly.
You
You're
know,
like,
it's
oh,
like
he's
that.
like, oh, I
Yeah.
brought my condoms, and it's like you want to see that video.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm in the back room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, there's a reason
This
that
is
show
Chris
was
Marvel
on the air
in
for
your,
like 20 years. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
The.
So, anyways, he turned himself in. It's set at $1 million bond, or for bail.
See, that's the dumbest thing. If you're gonna-
$10,000, 10% of $1 million is $100,000. Correct.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, and apparently, like, he's had like money issues and all. Like,
Really?
he's not a rich man, but I think maybe he has like maybe houses or whatever. But I know that he's struggling financially. But apparently, he's going to try to get out, and maybe he's gotten out today.
Well, the
just
thing is,
since-
it's like I hate the whole, and we won't go into this, but I hate the whole bail system. It's so
Like,
bullshit.
why?
Why? Oh, this guy's really bad. He better pay us a lot of money for us
Yeah.
to let him out.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. No sense. It's a cash grab.
It's a
by
cash
the
grab.
Prison.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It-
no.
it's a
I think it's
ridiculous
stupid.
thing.
Yeah, it's like you're
No.
like so people who have money they can essentially
Fucking-
not be in prison.
Yeah,
But they're
until trial.
But they're still, but even with let's say you have, but I get, what about the low level offenses that it's only $300 for
But
bail?
still, like if you don't have that $300
Yep.
and you get say it's like you go to jail because you didn't
Yeah.
pay parking tickets,
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that, or speeding
Yeah.
tickets.
Yep.
You go to jail.
Do you think that person who gets these parking tickets should remain in jail?
So the
and
whole
taking up
the
money
only
and taking
reason,
up food and all.
Well, yeah, I don't know what the exact justification is for a bail bond. I don't know if it's paying for the stress you're putting on the system, but the whole idea for them releasing you before your court date is just their judgment on whether or not you're a flight risk.
Correct.
So if you're going to leave the country, they won't let you. They'll put you in jail. They
Yeah.
won't give you a bail.
Correct,
Or they might make it an astounding amount.
Yep.
What was it? Suge Knight. Who's that rapper guy?
Yeah, no, Suge Knight was the one who quote unquote murdered Tupac.
Yeah. So
Well, he didn't himself, but he.
Yeah, I think it was Suge Knight. His bail was set at like millions of dollars when he went to, and it was because he was such a flight risk.
Yep.
Just say, we think you're gonna go to jail for now.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a crazy thing. I don't like bails at all. If they should be in jail, they should be in jail.
I don't
If
like
they
bills
shouldn't-
either.
Yeah. Bales of hay. Damn
Bales
it.
of hay.
Them damn horses.
Yes. Just get. It's just my sinuses. It's crazy.
It's just crazy. It's
Yeah.
just fucking crazy. So, but so Chicago had a hell of a week because Jessie Schmaltz.
Yeah,
We don't
talk about him.
Everyone and their mother has talked about him, so we
Yeah.
really don't need to talk about him.
No, I
He's
do.
a
I
fuck.
want to bring. I guess a few things.
That happened in Chicago too. So R. Kelly has to go.
Yeah.
Like Chicago's
Yeah.
like laying down the law this week.
Chicago's hurting, y'all.
Fuck, man. Chicago's pray for Chicago.
Yo, pray for
We got some
Chicago.
fucked up individuals in there.
Fuck.
All right.
Yeah. But it's Smollett.
Smollett, whatever.
Yeah, Smollett,
Honestly, dude's a moron.
I've never watched. Well, and and I think that's like the. I think
We're not exactly the demographic for Empire, Chris.
no. There's a lot. We are.
How are we
Yes.
the demographic for
Because
Empire?
there's a lot of people who like that. White people who like,
Wait, is it? I was surprised. I thought it was on the BET channel. I was surprised to hear it was on Fox.
No, it's on Fox. Oh yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I don't watch.
And it's not just for I'm
Well,
just
I
saying.
know, but
Yeah.
Say we're the target audience. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't think
gotcha.
we're the
I
target
mean,
audience.
that's the thing is like with a lot of things. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
I don't know who knows, yeah.
Anyways,
Empire.
So Empire,
it seems like a drama to me.
well, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a drama, right?
Yep. It's one of those things where I think it's like when you look at it from afar, you're like, this looks dumb.
Well,
but
I
when you
see
get
the
invested
little-
in the characters.
I feel like it's getting invested in like the Kardashians. I've only seen like the little previews, and it's all the you shot like it looks like a Mexican daytime soap opera.
Daytime soap opera.
It really does.
Yes.
It really does.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué? Conan O'Brien was on. If y'all haven't seen Conan O'Brien go to Mexico and do a Mexican soap opera,
No,
fucking
I've
hilarious.
never seen that. Oh,
I
shit.
love it. Yeah, he's like
Okay.
a cheese salesman.
Yeah.
I love it. Conan O'Brien when he travels is just great in general.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, Jessie
Jessie Smollett. So
Yep.
I mean, of course, if you've been living under a rock,
Yeah.
he basically lied and said that two white men, basically who were Trump supporters, MAGA supporters, basically like
in Chicago
beat him up and
sprayed him with a substance, put a noose
bleach,
around his neck.
like bleach around and noose and so and so. This is very unfortunate because there are people who have been affected. And who do I mean, that's just it's how it is. Especially
Well,
police brutality, all that shit's real. Police brutality is real.
I think well, no, I guess like police brutality does happen.
It does happen. And what the whole thing though is like this fucker now helps discredit so many and it pushes that.
Chicago just had and I can't remember anyone's names, but there was that shooting of the cop did, and I watched a video of it. What was his name? The Chicago recently just got over an incident where a cop dropped 16 rounds on a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Said it was in self-defense.
Yeah.
Full clip. 16
Yeah.
rounds? I was like, isn't that a round? Doesn't
Yeah.
a clip have 14 rounds?
Yeah,
Like, he had
yeah.
to, like, unload or reload. I watched the video. A kid was walking away. Yeah, he had a knife in his hand, but he was walking away. Guy just walks up, bam, 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 16 in a row. I'm like, you
Yeah.
motherfucker. And he was walking around for a year. So, you know.
What's so fucked up is I have a friend in the force.
Yeah.
And we call him the rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of a funny story,
Why?
but
Yeah.
also it shows you that basically he responded to this cop responded to I think it was a suicidal person,
Yeah.
or someone. Oh no, it was responding to a person carrying
Mentally
around
ill.
a samurai sword.
Yeah. Okay.
This guy was carrying around a samurai sword, talking about hurting himself, whatever.
yeah.
Oh man, I'm just burping. Sorry. Thanks, Chipotle and Pepper.
Yeah. You can have some of the beer later.
Yeah, wash it down with my good
My
beer.
beer,
But no, anyways, so it responds, and this guy, I don't know if he's 18, 19, 20, whatever.
Yeah.
He's got this fucking samurai sword, and I know that the guy I know is a police officer, and basically saying, "Hey, put this down, whatever."
Yeah.
And apparently, this guy charges at him.
Yeah.
He shoots him
Yeah.
right in the dick. So like and so he didn't purposely do it, but I think he was like coming down the stairs, whatever. But like usually they're trained. I'm sorry, to stop someone you have to shoot center mass.
Well, yeah.
You
so
have to. But
They're
so
like, why
this
don't you
guy-
shoot him in the leg? Well, first of all, handguns
a handgun?
are hard to shoot in
It's
general.
small.
Yeah.
Like 9mm. They're not made for like stopping power.
No.
You know?
They're not carrying around 45 caliber.
Correct.
you
Not like
know.
fucking Smith Wesson. Like,
It-
boom.
Yeah, no,
hand
it's
cannons.
make my day, punk.
So
you know?
so it's so basically, anyways. But this guy charged him with a
Big-ass
fucking
sword.
big ass samurai sword.
Yeah.
He could have emptied this clip, blah 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 blah. Blah, you know,
And been justified.
I think
And been justified.
and it would have been justified. But I think he hit. Well, maybe it's two, like pop pop, you know, something like that. And but
yeah.
you know, he could have went to the head, center mass, whatever. Like
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if
He
maybe
shot
just,
lower body.
He's
lower
shot.
body.
Yeah, he shot lower.
Shot him in the dick.
He shot him in
Were
the
they
dick.
able to
Yeah,
save the
yeah.
dick?
I am not sure. All I know is that
You need
we
to figure
call
that
my
out.
man the rabbi.
That's hilarious. Circumcising for justice.
Just
All
circumcising
right.
fools.
Just circumcising fools.
Oh fuck. Anyways,
Dude, that's like the best way to like if someone pulls up on you, they call me the circumcision.
they call me the rabbi.
The rabbi.
Why is that?
What the fuck,
'Cause I'm
man?
circumcising
I'll
motherfuckers.
circumcise you with this 9 mil.
With
All
this
right?
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
precise. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Anyways,
This bullet's not gonna be the only thing that's
Yeah.
9mm when I'm done with it.
yeah. He's like,
The penis.
and
too.
he
All
walks into the room. Anyone order a brisk, y'all?
What?
Brisk is circumcision. Jesus, did
brisk?
that go? A brisk. Yeah,
Like
that's
brisk tea commercial? What?
no, a brisk. That's a Jewish
brisk?
where they circumcise the penis.
Okay.
Yeah, you ever heard of or
I don't know. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. So
Yeah.
a brisk.
Okay,
let's
go ahead.
break it down for you. Wow. Okay,
Learn
okay.
me.
Okay,
Learn
I'm
to
gonna
me.
learn you some. Brisk
to me
is
something.
I believe a Jewish religious thing where they basically
Ceremony?
Thank you. Ceremony. Religious thing.
Brisk?
A brisk is a Jewish ceremony where they circumcise the males at like a very, very young age. Yeah.
They circumcise the males, not the women.
They
I appreciate
not the males,
you
Yes. I had to clarify.
clarifying
Yes.
that.
Well, no, now it's not even males anymore. It's
Gender, male identifying.
yes.
Apparently, so this is another thing. I read on Facebook. Apparently, there are people saying that trans women can have female penises.
That's too funny. So, this is gonna get into a whole nother thing.
It don't matter.
I was listening to today, a really
Female penises.
really cool story though,
Okay.
and this is where I am not sympathetic to the LGBTQ community, but like I understand that we as human beings we are different and we are born with different things. And I heard the story of this man. He was 50 years old. And apparently, like, he was having groin pains.
Yeah.
And they're just progressively getting worse and worse
Yeah,
and worse.
hermaphrodite.
And so, he finally was looking online, couldn't find anything. And it's called, the term now is called like intersex.
Yeah.
He was intersex. And so what happened was
is that is that basically the same thing?
So when
hermaphrodite might be
so when he was younger,
more of a medical thing.
what they did was that he was born without what looked like a vagina, like either his vagina was very small, like or he had a very large clitoris.
Like they didn't know.
They didn't
what
know.
It would
So
turn
the
into.
parents decided, they're like, well, it looks like a penis, so let's, and they made it into a penis. When,
Okay.
And so then he grew up, and so then
Did he have ovaries and shit?
well, see, they didn't get into that specific.
Well, no,
but,
he had
but
to have had balls.
Yeah. Well, no, that's I don't know. I don't know.
He wouldn't have to Google if he was a guy if he just didn't have balls.
Well,
he'd be
no,
like,
well,
"What the
so
fuck? Why?" The first porn he ever watched, he'd be like, "What's going on there?"
Well, no. So here's the thing: is
that looks different.
he grew up having scars. And his parents, like, he would ask, and his parents like, no, you're, and like he struggled through many years of being going through regular male-female relationships, gay relationships.
I think I've heard of this person.
And he was struggling, and so because he is a LGBTQ advocate. Now he's like in his 60s, but they talked about how he finally found out what intersex was, and he went and he realized, oh yeah, you are intersex, and so basically he was born.
Thought intersex is more of a identifying thing. Not
no, like intersectional. Is that what you think? Or there's intersex, and so basically I think it's the same thing as hermaphrodite, where you're still born with two.
Intersex might be a little more PC.
Yeah, and I'd almost rather, like, if I were intersex, I'd rather be intersex than hermaphrodite. I feel like that's such a taboo.
Why?
I don't know. That's, to me, it just seems very like
you could literally go fuck yourself.
Shut up. No, you can't. God damn it.
I know. I'm sorry. That's bad. That's bad. I shouldn't have said that.
Anyways, so I just found it super interesting, and he went till he was 50. Didn't know, and then he and then finally he's like, yeah, you're intersex, and so what happened? He's like, he just felt so liberated. He felt like, oh, okay, like, because he struggled so much with, like, fucking who am I? And I just thought it was great, and so because there are people who are born different or who have both sex or like a little more than another, and like just because we're fucking weird, our body.
Well, those are very like
no, but there's
the
more.
reason why we're like, hey man, listen to this story about this.
Wait, say that again.
Like, hey man, listen to this. Like there's a reason like that story stuck with you. It's because it's definitely not par for the course.
How so? Or
well, it's like because he had a male and female genitalia.
Yeah, like they didn't know. Like there's.
Well, I guess what the parents being honest with.
Well,
him
no, the parents they weren't honest. That's the thing. And like
that was
he. And
so
sounds
like
when,
he grew up in the 60s.
So yeah. So when he asked them, the mom's like, "No, you're a man, and you'll always be a man." And like, and the dad was like, "Hey, I'm really sorry." And like, but he never knew, like,
they made a decision for him that they probably shouldn't have made.
But also though, it's almost like, you know what, I get not knowing back then, but now it's like there's a difference,
Sure.
But whatever. But I think there's difference between that and then just. And that's that's just my own.
We don't have to get into it.
I don't know
if I want to touch that subject.
But and I think that's the question is whatever. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing, it's like I guess the one thing I would say is that it's 2019, right? These gender roles are over. A man can be whatever, a woman especially can be whatever she wants. And it's whatever that way. Yeah. And then we talk about people identifying differently. Yeah. And it seems like such a reinforcement of the stereotypical gender roles. I see that. So it's like it's a weird thing. Yeah. But in all honesty, I don't even want to talk about it.
No, that's totally fine.
Honestly, I think it's over talked about. I
found that just story like I'm like this for me. I'm like, yeah, this is, I totally get it. Like,
I just feel like there's an obsession with we focus too much on sex in today's society.
Well, here's like. For him, for they or whatever, for him especially, he literally was born with both, right?
Well, yeah.
So it's almost like, and there is no gender ID, like there is no like
for that, no,
for that or like passports, and so that's he's in courts now fighting like he's like, well, I don't really know, and I'm not gonna you're not gonna force me to choose if I'm a male or female.
What's the fucking That's the whole thing.
But
It's like,
that's
the whole
yeah.
world has to reflect. I mean, good lord.
Well,
It's-
we all have different tastes, and we all have different whatever. So
Yeah. I just feel like everyone needs to have the whole world reinforce their ideas, and the thing is that that's a recipe to not be happy.
yeah, I mean,
Okay. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. Anyways, okay,
yeah.
so wow, that went into a whole
Oh,
fucking thing. We were
dude,
not
holy
planning that.
shit.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, segue.
Let's get to our fucking topics.
All right. Yeah.
Do you
All
want
right.
some beer?
Yeah, I'd like some beer.
Pour you
Please.
some beer, Chris.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. All right. Well, I guess we can talk. And I can. I'll just talk about this because I was the one who originally brought this up. It's about Facebook. Like we were just talking about that. I'm good. About like just drink. Look at that cascading. Do you see that?
Looks good, don't it?
Look at that, dude.
It looks good.
That looks great.
I did a good job on this one.
Yeah, you should have seen the pour, you guys. It was amazing.
It was good beer.
It was
good,
huge.
Good pour.
All right. Anyways,
I'm gonna
so
text my sister and tell
the
her to drink them.
yeah, the few weeks ago, talked about Facebook and
Yep.
their app, their spying with Apple and all of that, right?
Yep.
And I think this is one of those things where it's of course an update, but also kind of gives you an idea more of kind of what I was talking about.
Sure.
So Facebook, they bought a company called Onavo, right? I wish I know.
Onavel?
Yeah, Onavel. Yes.
The belly button?
Yeah. Onavo.
Facebook belly button.
Yes. Face.
Next thing
belly.
they're going to buy Toys R Us.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I love it. Yes. God.
Stupid.
That was not good. No. All right. It was so they just talked about how they are going to be essentially ending this program that
Was that the one where they were buying people's data?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So it was an Israeli company that monitored and they took their information from their users, right? Mm-hmm. So which is really cool. And what I thought was cool, I guess, and I feel like I try to put myself in like these companies' shoes.
Yeah.
If I run this company, would I want to pay for these ads? Would I want to, would I want to like spend all this money, whatever? So what I found out, and I'm just kind of regurgitating the news or whatever to everyone.
Yeah.
But what's cool is Facebook. If they didn't have Onavo, they were the ones that actually monitored all of how
It was a third party doing a lot of their statistical research.
Yes.
Okay.
And well, no, they downloaded this app.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so they developed this app
Sure.
to quote unquote spy on people, right? And I feel like I've kind of changed my tone a little bit, but I understand that still it's dangerous, and I get that.
You know
but,
what? That'll kind of go into my topic.
Cool,
for China.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Facebook bought this company, used it, their software to monitor what and how these users were using for like text messages.
Some of them
all
were
the-
kids. Yeah, because it wasn't
yeah.
just the data on your Facebook app.
No, it was
the-
exactly
everything that
So
happened
one thing
on
they
your
found
phone.
out is that Facebook realized with this data that WhatsApp was becoming a huge competitor.
Really?
And so what happened was then that's why Facebook bought out WhatsApp.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
So that's incredible.
And
so
it
that's corporate espionage right
and
there.
it determined the value of WhatsApp, and that's why they got like I think it was like 15 billion or 15 billion. Yeah.
I was listening to NPR this week on the way home from work, and
Yep.
this fits so crazily with what you just told me there.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a corporate, a corporate entity spying on your phone. It was done voluntarily. They
Yep.
agreed to it, but it led to $1 billion transaction. That's crazy, right?
I think my question, I'm like, is that so wrong?
Well, no. Here's just listen to this, okay? Because I haven't told you about this. At all.
Yeah.
NPR this week was talking about how if you don't have your privacy settings, set up correctly on your phone, your geolocation is automatically pinged to like Google or these other companies. Yeah. So what is actually happening is your geolocation is being pinged to these companies. They track them.
Wait, just the location?
Your location
Okay.
of where you are throughout the day.
Yep.
and it can happen, like once every couple of hours, or it can happen like 1,500 times in an hour.
Yeah.
It's just what they want from it.
Okay.
They're pinging for locations. The craziest thing is that they are able to monitor foot traffic through stores. Yeah. So they can see where people are stopping inside a store. All these stores are mapped out. They know where products are. They know everything.
It's the
big
same.
data.
It's the same thing with when I take a picture, right? Like a perfect example is we were at Bad Weather. Sorry, I'm like, okay. So last time we were at Bad Weather, and I take a picture, and when I load it into Instagram, one of the first suggestions is Bad Weather. So they knew.
They know.
The man knew. So
that's the thing,
it already because my geolocation
I
is
suppose,
on.
but that's put to you. Okay, that pops up to you. Yeah, you know about it.
But
this is just your phone sending out this little information.
Oh, well, but that's everything. Like you'll always be connected. You'll always be tied.
Yes.
You'll always be monitored.
But the whole thing is that people are going to be watching this, and there's going to be this whole big revolution in AI, because AI is going to be able to take this massive amount of data and drill it down into digestible reports.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could see the whole world being tailored to us quite soon in crazy, scary ways, because they know like what businesses are failing, what businesses are doing good, not just based on sales, but the people walking through the stores. One thing NPR did,
traffic.
Yeah, one thing NPR did was they tracked the mayor of New York throughout the day.
What?
They tracked, and then they called and they verified.
How?
Because
who did they use, or who did they go through?
Lives in the governor's mansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
They had people pinged in the governor's mansion. They could see this. I don't know if this is
like who's
public
they?
data.
Like did they?
It's like people working
did
with
they go somewhere?
with
like
they
who
went to apparently the pings then went to a YMCA that's known that the mayor likes to go to.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we talking about a Chinese family?
No. Why?
No, the pings.
The pings. Okay,
I believe that is Chinese last
that
name,
was
so,
funny.
yeah.
That was good. So no, it was crazy.
Clever son of a bitch.
Well, no, and this is another thing. It's not just about corporate espionage, but so we were able to follow the mayor. What about one of the things that NPR brought up was what about someone that works at a nuclear power plant? Mm-hmm. They could find out where that person lives, eventually who they are, everything about them. Throughout your daily
what would
life.
That matter?
I mean, hey, we'll kill your family, if you don't overload this reactor. Some crazy shit,
You know what that reminds me of?
Russians would do that.
That Star Trek episode, or the Star Trek movie, where that guy, his daughter was sick. Mm-hmm. And I forget his name.
Zulu.
What the hell?
What? Is that Star Trek?
No, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Zulu. Captain Sulu. Sulu.
Okay.
Zulu,
Yeah.
Zulu.
I'm like Zulu.
Zulu,
like
I think.
Zoolander?
No, Zulu is something else.
They this guy has a sick daughter, and I forget his name. The bad guy. Oh, what's his name?
Khan.
Yes, Khan says, "Hey, you need to do this because I'll help your daughter."
Yeah.
So he goes there, and then he fucks up that shit.
Yeah.
So you're saying like that? Yeah.
Yeah. But what if Khan had poisoned the daughter?
Yeah. Here's my thing. It's a double-edged sword because
geopolitics for nerds.
It's a double-edged. It's a double-edged sword because wouldn't you want to track and know about sexual offenders? Like, like. So
I think that
if I had
no
children,
data is better than big data. My personal opinion.
No
data is better than big data.
And I disagree.
Why? What big benefit would come from big data of your geolocation?
Well, if I knew in my area that how active, let's say, pedophiles or whatever,
all you have to do is leave their phone at home.
What?
All you have to do is leave their phone at home.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Who does that though?
Smart
pedophile.
I mean, how's he going to take the picture? How's he going to take the picture? Fuck.
He's got this old school camera, like the handheld.
Yeah. I'm with the news.
He's got it's on the shoulder. So what do you have? What? It's like he's still using like normal size VHS tapes.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got I
only got 30 minutes of shooting. Can you hurry up?
He's got a mullet and a mustache. Yeah. I'm a camera guy.
Why do you have to tie mullets and mustaches with pedophilia?
I'm sorry.
You know?
I was thinking more like 80s cameraman. Like
Oh,
that's my idea of an 80s cameraman. Let's. Do you want to get to it? Let's get to our big topics here.
So okay, yeah. So we did the Facebook. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So they're canceling that.
Yeah.
They're shutting it down.
Good.
But what they said though is like we're stopping it, but we still it's still well apparently it's not gonna stop. For people who already have it until maybe a few months from now.
But the pedophile saying, I'm not going to look through this window anymore, but I did just buy this new telescope.
And so they're going to stop because they've already used it. They've used this company to
we know what's going
to
on.
buy
We're
fucking
gonna buy this.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, but
we can Venezuela had a quick issue.
Is that a yeah?
Venezuela had a really quick issue. Just because we talked about it, we can touch on it really quick here.
So
a bunch of United States has dropped supplies aid in Colombia, Brazil. Brazil is offering aid to Venezuela. The free to Venezuelans. However, Maduro's government has actually, I believe he shot and killed 2 people. Is that correct?
Well, not himself, but yes, Maduro.
Yeah.
Has what is going on? Hold on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We'll get it. Come on, watch out. All right. So, Maduro has basically tried to
cut off
the aid.
Yes.
So then they killed essentially. Tensions are tightening, and they killed 2 people. They said, as far as reported, they killed 2 people.
It's gonna get really. It's gonna start getting pretty bad, I think, because
it's getting super bad.
It's gonna be close to a civil war soon.
So here's real quick. From what I heard is that they I think it was yesterday they were putting on this like aid, like all these very popular musicians.
Okay.
Latin musicians
Yep.
were going to raise money and to talk about like this aid for Venezuela. So in their own Venezuela, they were trying to
go to the
get money and to get aid, but also America is also providing too.
Yeah. Well, it's the whole thing about we're trying to. We never had a really good relationship with Maduro's government, and we're trying to essentially. It feels like we're trying to lure the Venezuelan people to our side. Like, hey, look at all this food.
So
we got
I don't
here.
know.
Just get this dude out of power. You can have all this food.
Here's I think this is what's
it's sad. It's sad.
I don't. Me right now, I don't know who's going to be better, is Maduro or Guaido.
Well, the whole thing is we shouldn't be picking politicians. We should be fighting really tough for elections.
Yep.
That should be it.
Correct.
And Guaido, we shouldn't really care about, and there's been a lot of Western countries that have backed, Guaido. Thing is he has no more right to be president than Maduro.
and I think that's where it goes back to I don't know if it's Guaido or Guaido.
Guaido. Guaido.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that he actually so he's been banned from, of course, Venezuela, and so he actually snuck.
He's been banned?
They're saying like he snuck over the border.
Well, I heard that he was. They took away his passport.
So he's banned.
So he can't leave the country.
Yes. But
there's a difference there. So it's either he can't enter the country or leave. I believe he can't leave the country.
So either they had this aid in like Brazil, or somewhere.
I think it was Colombia.
I think it was Colombia. Okay. So then they had the aid that this
he attempted to get brought over the border,
and so he did. He snuck over and had a conference
with
really? Like at this concert this music aid.
What's
place.
crazy? We're wanting free college over here, and all our politicians are arguing over it. They're wanting fucking rice.
They want food. They want
one of the richest nations in the
economic
world
prosperity.
Are wanting rice right now.
Yeah.
That's just insane to me. We are 45 minutes in, Chris.
Yeah.
What was your topic of the week? I forgot because I want to talk about China this week.
Oh fuck! Really? Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Okay. So real. Well, I was gonna talk.
It's Chris's birthday, by the way.
Hey-o,
Happy
tomorrow,
birthday, Chris!
At midnight. So that's
okay.
yeah.
So
yeah.
Monday,
But whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
No, tomorrow. Sunday.
Oh,
Today's the
tonight at
23rd.
midnight.
Tonight at midnight,
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
3-5. 30 fucking
Oh,
5.
fuck,
Oh my
man.
God, I know.
Dude, it's like you turned 34 just yesterday. You're my little kid.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah. So I wanted to talk about Trump declaring national emergency. You hear it throughout
Okay.
the news. Everyone's so opinionated about it.
Yep.
What I really wanted to do was I wanted to go because the biggest argument is that more and more illegals and of course drugs are coming from from
border.
the borders. Like that's why he addressed and made
How
this.
about this? Let me talk about China really quick. More of a preface for next week then.
So how's
Does
it?
that sound good?
Yes, let's do
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Because my whole topic
We're
here,
just gonna touch it. We're not gonna really play with it or like.
this has been a very sexual episode this week.
So what? You're just gonna tease us?
Well,
Is that
no.
it?
So, I'm going to talk about
You're
it.
just gonna
until,
play just the tip of the topic.
Just yeah, exactly. Tip of the topic. Teeth. Fuck. All right. So,
Okay.
There's an interesting thing going on in China right now. They have, and it's currently, I don't believe it's not going to be fully implemented until 2020, but there are currently millions of people right now that have a social credit score. Okay. Social credit score. It's basically it's like your credit score, but instead of taking out a loan and if you pay it back correctly, it's how you treat people. It's basically everything you do every day is being graded.
So it's all being tracked. It's being
Yes,
monitored.
Yes. If you say you write a blog and you don't you get something wrong in the blog or you lie in the blog, they would ding you for that. So your
So
credit
it's
score would
like
go down.
point
Yes.
system. Yeah.
Yep. You'd be considered quote unquote. I believe it's not. Damn it. What's the word? You'd be branded a liar, basically, in your social credit score.
Or let's say you run a red light.
If you run a red light, absolutely. I was watching an interview about these Australian guys that are living in China right now. One dude he jaywalked, and he looks at his phone, and a fine gets automatically taken out of his bank account.
Interesting. Wow.
And the whole thing is China has invested so much in tracking people right now.
How are they tracking people?
Yeah, so let me finish the credit score really quick. So the social credit scores. So if you're you're not the most upstanding citizen, if you don't follow the party line, because China's communist, they're a one party system. You have to love the government more or less. If you don't, you're considered an unfaithful person. Kind of like that. And there's journalists that are having issues with this over there. And if you donate a lot of blood, or if you volunteer at the Communist Party, or you do something that the Chinese government would like, they'll give you a better credit score, and those things. So, and the whole thing with the grading system is if you're doing great, you don't have to do things like pay security deposits on hotel rooms. You get faster internet for cheaper. You can get plane tickets for cheaper. You can get updates to like the first class and things like that. Just weird little things. It's like if a credit card company had total control of the world and they just decided, hey, let's give them this, let's give them that. Weirdest thing in the world. On the face of it, that looks good. However, if you have a bad credit score, if you're caught, smoking a cigarette on a train, you might not be able to take get a train anymore.
So they'll revoke your pass.
They will revoke your ability to get a train ticket. They won't. They will revoke your passport.
Yeah.
You won't be able to leave the country if you have a low credit score. You can't get loans for cars or houses if you have a low social credit score. Which is. I mean, and that's just in the this is just the beginning phases. It's not totally rolled out yet. Once they have the technology and the infrastructure set up, it's going to be, they're not going to say, hey, we have enough power.
Yeah.
It's going to build into something so much more. And I think the crazy thing right now is I was watching an interview with a lady. She retired, but then she got hired back as on the Chinese government to spy on her neighbors and give reports to the local police department. She's basically, her job is to watch her neighbors and report to the local police.
Weird.
So in Nazi Germany, okay, I think especially in France, if you were found to be committed a crime, they would say, hey, we can take you to the gulags right now and, bye-bye to your family, or you watch your neighbors and you tell them about us. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is they had to do that under duress. The Chinese right now, they're signing up for it.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Isn't that a crazy ass
That's
thing?
That's crazy.
That's absolutely, it's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing, and I'll get into the, there's this, I guess I don't really want to hit on China and how bad China's government is and how scary it is to have that in a communist regime.
Yep.
I just want to talk about the idea in general.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So, so the whole thing is that the Chinese government, they've invested billions of dollars into facial recognition software, camera infrastructure. So basically, and I'll have more statistics next week. They track you everywhere.
Yeah,
they absolutely track you everywhere. Yeah. Like I said, if you jaywalk,
are we talking about the future of China and America?
That's the question. Okay, because I was driving down the road yesterday and I was behind a cop car and he had 2 big cameras on the back. The plate scanners.
Oh wow! Oh yeah.
And they don't just turn on. Yeah. That's surveillance all the time. They're checking plates every time. And I wouldn't mind doing 1 week where I just talk about this kind of stuff happening in America.
Okay.
Because the FBI does run fake cell phone towers.
Just saying, put on your tin hats, folks.
Let's
strap down and
sit
sit down.
Yeah, we're into that. But the thing is they're rolling out this whole big thing in order to totally change society to the way they want it to be.
That is interesting. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. This is our vision, and if you
don't do it, your life's gonna suck.
Wow. Yeah.
Your life's gonna suck if you don't do what we want you to do. It is control in the most minute ways throughout your life. The big thing is we close the doors here. More or less, we feel like hey, I can jerk off to some weird shit.
I can do some weird.
Totally
fucking
fine with that.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
I can say Donald Trump whatever eats horse manure or whatever.
Yeah.
We have the freedoms to say.
We have the freedoms to say that.
Fuck the police.
Yes. Fuck the police. Something like that. Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is you don't have to worry about not being able to buy a car.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your children going to a certain college because you have to take out a loan for that.
I mean, if you're a dumbass on social media and you're trying to get a job, I know that there are people who look at your social media and be like, don't worry. But
you have privacy settings too.
Correct.
You can set your privacy settings up. But that's you're actively putting it out there.
Correct.
This is your most intimate things. Even if you buy a lot of alcohol, it can go against their social credit score. They can consider you having a problem. You're not being an upstanding citizen. You're drinking too much. You're eating too much fatty foods. So much. It's an insane thing.
That's crazy.
It's pretty soon it's going to turn into an indoctrination where no one is. It's going to be fake smiles and fake ideas just all throughout that country. 1.3 billion people are pretty soon. They're going to be based down into robots. They'll be slaves.
And on that note, next week we are going to have a guest speaker, Art Bell. Who's
Art Bell?
Tin hat space.
I want to get important enough to have Alex Jones on. That's all
Alex
I want.
Jones.
I want Alex.
So next week we're gonna have Alex Jones and Art Bell.
Alex Jones.
I love it.
You
see the guy.
Well, I don't know. And I think that's the crazy thing. And I kind of hit my points pretty generally speaking. Look up Chinese social credit score. They're using it. Dissenting journalists in the country, they can't leave the country anymore. And it's not that they're bad people. It's just simply disagreeing with, the one party rule of China.
Yeah.
Dissenting voices.
Damn commies.
Well, the thing is, this is the system to shut down dissenting voices within China.
That is, man.
It's a crazy
man.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't realize this either. A lot of places don't take credit card anymore. A lot of places don't take cash anymore. It's all through that app, WeChat.
Oh, WeChat.
WeChat,
So
which it's like Facebook Pay.
Correct. And that's what I was
Like
asking.
Facebook Pay, yeah.
So
Facebook
WeChat
Messenger.
is this big thing that,
Everyone apparently uses WeChat, but the thing is the government monitors WeChat. So everything you do, WeChat's your social media, it's your texting, it's your bank transactions, it's everything.
Look up. I think if people looked up like kind of what WeChat is, and like
you
and
can
so
download WeChat. We have WeChat here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I assume it's kind of like WhatsApp or let's say like except
well,
but then
WhatsApp's
way
supposed
more,
to be like
it's free and but
WhatsApp's supposed to be like secure and private, isn't it? Isn't that the whole thing for WhatsApp?
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
Fucking
but
Facebook.
It's like the
bought
opposite.
It out, so I
then.
doubt it now.
I would treat it like a government watched Facebook. Because you can buy stuff on Facebook.
Oh no, it's the same thing. Like you can buy money. It's everything.
You can theoretically you can do everything through it. It's like Facebook with Apple Pay.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's kind of wrap things up for this week. So next week, let's talk more about Donald Trump. Just a little bit. Like it's more just like yeah.
So we're having to cut this not really short.
No. This is
almost an hour.
Yeah.
So we have Chris's birthday party.
I got some drinks to fucking drink.
15 minutes. Yeah. And we got a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end it here. But we'll definitely have more shit to talk about. Appreciate you guys spending just a fucking 45 an hour listening to us.
It looks like it's about an hour. Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys have any questions,
honestly,
whatever.
yeah. So next week we'll hit your points. So it's the emergency, which I really want to talk about. This week. That sucks.
Donald Trump declaring emergency. We'll talk about the WeChat app.
Yeah. So the whole thing I would say about Donald Trump's emergency was he declares an emergency, and then the next day he says, "I didn't have to do this."
Yes. Well, we didn't have to.
Well, then it wasn't an emergency.
Yeah. And then we're gonna do this.
I shut
and
the
then
water
this is
off.
how I talk. And then they're gonna stop me. And then I'm gonna say no. And I love talking like this now.
Stephen Colbert.
And yes, he did that.
I don't like Stephen Colbert.
But it was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't like Stephen Colbert, but he did have a great thing where Donald Trump was like, he said, "I didn't have to declare an emergency, but I wanted to do it faster."
Yeah.
And Donald Trump and Stephen Colbert is like, I didn't have to call 911, but an Uber would have taken too long.
Straight up.
I thought that was
that is hilarious.
That was pretty good, Stephen.
That is,
I thought that was pretty good.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah.
That
All
was
right.
good.
Well, guys, we are going to wrap things up for the week. We appreciate your time and listening to us.
Absolutely.
Have some drinks and talk about the news.
We're
going to
be super informed on our topics next week
because
we just we didn't talk about half the shit.
Oh, we did, yeah. Anyways, so if you guys have any questions, we're going to upload just kind of like pictures of the beers and whatnot. So we're trying to be whatever.
If you made it to this point, give us a subscribe. Give us a like on Facebook.
A like.
Maybe
a little share.
Give us a share. Actually, one person shared and it reached 90 people.
So we love that. So we appreciate.
That's a cool thing. Exactly. So we are in the stages where even the littlest interaction does make a big difference for us. So.
Well, guys, you guys have a great night, and you guys have a great rest of your weekend.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. 35.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And what a great way to ring it in than by closing out your podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Well,
that's your opinion, man. All right, have a good night, guys.
Try to dig the colorful things we say.